Hello, everyone. Welcome to episode 3 of A Toon to Die For. My name is Kelsey. My pronouns are she, they, and I'm the communications director on this lovely, wonderful channel you see right now, TTRPG. And I'm going to pass it on over to our game master to get started with the show.
Hello, it's still me, Mike or Michael. My pronouns are they or he, and I'm the game facilitator, game master for our game of Madcaps, A Tune to Die For. The mystery got very dirty last time, but before we go back into what happened, I am joined by other people other than Kels, and I'm joined in no particular order by our friends Annie. Hi, Annie.
Hi, I'm Annie Oakley. My pronouns are she, her, and I'll be playing Sally Sable.
Yeah, and of course we're also here with Grishka. Hello.
Hey, I'm Grishka and Kiki. My pronouns are she, her, and they, them. And I will be, as always, embodying the inimitable Cyril Seda.
Yes.
Glad to be here as always.
Thank you, thank you. And last but not least, of course, our friend Morshadi and resident data goblin.
I'm a data goblin.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
You're in
okay.
charge.
You
Hi,
got
I'm
promoted.
Washadi. You can find me on, doing lots of things in the game, and not knowing a single thing.
It's true. All right. Last time our players continued their delve into vision animation, saved the cast of Why So Serious Caesar, sparing the life of Julius Caesar on the 15th of March,
Good
and
man.
nearly captured the assailant, a Rondo Hatton Frankenstein's monster looking guy in like custodial coveralls who fled the scene, but the party split with Cyril Seta and Sally Sable trailing the assailant in a his sidecar on his motorcycle, while Sky Howard and Kip Hopperman decided to delve into the books of vision animations and see if everything was adding up to zero there, and it's not. But of course, Sally Sable and Cyril, went they were brought to the Quarter Portion Club, which is a gay bar over in Little Sketch, which is the Toon, the bad Toon neighborhood. And there they met Felix Scrumpkey, and they talked about their friend, or Cyril's friend, Stepan Lunger, who is not on the scene, but they were confronted by Agent H.G. Sestoda, who's working for the FBI, and he's funny because, boy, his only big bust was illegal VHSs. And that seems to still be stuck in his craw 20 some odd years later. And he's just not pleasant. Cyril was able to distract the agent, and Felix helped a little bit while Sally went up the stairs to look for Stepan Lunger, but came face to face with a magnificently muscled and apple-headed Toon biker wearing a patch that said "rotten to the core" before he fell down dead in front of Sally at the top of the stairs. And not to be left alone to their own devices, Sky and Kip were also, or at least Kip, Sky still in the copy room. Kip was confronted by one of Beaumont Ignatius Stone's gargoyle Toon bodyguards. And he said Mr. Stone would like a word.
The words everyone wants to hear.
Exactly. So everything's great. The kids are fine. But we return, of course, perhaps to the most distressing moment in all of this. Sally, you're looking at a Toon who is ostensibly dead. You saw the X's in his eyes before he went down, and everyone knows that's the universal sign for Toon's dying. Wink.
Mm-hmm.
And I say wink because, Sally, you would know that's how Toons fake it more often than not.
Yes.
And this guy was coming down right in front of you with a real, not Toon knife in his back. And there's that special agent downstairs, and we return immediately to you.
Um, so Sally's gonna like get out of the way, but she's still looking up. Can I see past like where he's falling from? Like if there's someone up there.
There is a toilet at the top of the stairs there, and there is a window that's like probably not large enough for most people to get out of. That's open, and there's a trail of toilet paper flying out of it with like a very powerful breeze coming in. It looks like he was piked in the back in this bathroom, and then somebody forced themselves out of this window trailing TP.
The real classical composition there.
Mm-hmm.
Sally, against her better judgment, is going to uh skitter past the dead body and go and try to look out the window.
So you see the busy street of downtown Little Sketch and excuse me in downtown Bivdale, and there's a couple of people mostly walking, as you know the city doesn't have a ton of cars, but you do catch um, stepping into an alleyway a couple of blocks up, you catch the edge of that large man that Cyril almost apprehended over at Vision Animations, running off toward the north side. Ostensibly.
So many choices. Um,
All of them good. All of them
All of them
excellent
good.
things to
yeah,
do.
There's
I
never been a bad
definitely
choice.
feel like that. So Sally's gonna run back downstairs again, like running on all fours, and go back to Cyril and uh tell him what she saw, but like not like announcing it to the group because obviously she doesn't want the special agent to hear.
And of course, as Cyril rolled amazing successes last time, Special Agent H.G. Sestota was just completely bewildered by the assault of lay Hollywood stories that offend even the most open-minded person in the world.
Yeah, no, it's I mean I think Cyril is just like I was going to say that Cyril is just starting to wrap up, but frankly, I think Cyril is just starting to hit his stride a little bit. Um, it's starting to get actually like personal. I think that it's like come to a point where I think Special Agent Sestota has either watched Cyril start to order drinks or has started buying Cyril drinks just to see like where things keep going as Cyril this guy who's like he was a kid actor in the worst part of the 60s and y- and had has just kind of been almost like a barnacle in Bivdale ever since then. He used his royalty money to buy like a turn of the century like North English revival cottage and has just been like remodeling it for the last 50 years as his main activity that he does and has just been gathering um I don't even know what to call it, just bitterness, about the studio system ever since. Uh, it's gotten mean and personal, and he's starting to like talk bad stuff about good people. Uh,
Yikes. Yeah, so Felix aided in the subterfuge earlier by like knocking down a couple shelves of the glasses that he broke, and he's busy sweeping that up. But you completely have Sestota's attention, and I just roll a quick d6 for me. I want to see where he's at.
okay, that's a 6.
He is so I guess one would have been him looking for an angle to arrest you. 6 is him engrossed in a way that is not unfamiliar to Cyril Seda. It's this you've accidentally turned this man into a super fan of your gay bitterness.
Oh man. Yeah,
And
no,
and he's just like,
absolutely.
I love this. I love
Oh my
keep
God.
talking.
Yeah, just absolutely just like opening up the floodgates a little bit. I can imagine, like every every shot of who was it, Cary Grant, whenever he's had a couple of drinks and he just like
Yeah.
looks
It looks
absolutely ready to
bad.
murder somebody. It's that it's almost this hypnotic tableau of watching Cyril's almost like portrait of Dorian Gray, like sort of facade of like pleasant uncle, like the sort of person who, had to entertain folks going, a lot of middle-aged housewives really like your material. What do you think of that? And he has to smile sweetly and go, oh, well, I'm sure I have no idea what you're trying to insinuate there. Just start to like fall away and like baring his teeth in something that's like a cruel parody of a smile, as he's just going through, and it's like, and you want to know one of the worst ones for all of it? It's fucking Joe. You know, never invited me to any of his parties, but Mr. Joseph Barbera, nicest guy in Bivdale. Unless you ever got to know him, guy.
Can you roll me a super quick sly? I'm gonna
Okay.
give you +1 forward for this because he is so engrossed.
Oh my gosh. Okay, that is a 7 plus my sly, which is 2, so that's a 9.
Okay, I think that you see Sally, who clearly wants to get your attention. You've been given this opportunity by the members of the Quarter Portion Club, as well as by Agents Estoda and Felix Scrumkey, to just basically hold court here at the
Uh-huh.
front of the bar, and you're just going story time. People are like asking you leading questions because like a few of them know, like, you've gone on rants here before. They're like, tell
Sure.
him this story, tell him that story. And these are also the same people like grabbing the stuff from like Sally's bag that came out last session, who are just
Mhm.
like, yeah, that's great, keep distracting the Fed, we're going to take this illicit material
Oh
with
yeah,
it, yeah, with
which
a
which
with
which
an
which was
eye,
completely the idea, right? Was
for
that
sure.
Cyril knows this place, and but yeah, I think the main thing that I'd kind of like to make sure is that anything that Sestoda is looking for just kind of disappears. I almost like this being like a tableau from a cartoon, is like as Sestoda is like leaning further and further in, the camera focuses behind him as people are like moving cans of film and like giant Batman pennies, like rolling them behind him, and carrying entire like a 3 foot long like Last Supper style paintings of Yogi Bear, like holding his hands out like this, as like all of the other assorted wacky racers are arrayed around him, at a dinner table in Renaissance fashion. Like all of this is like flashing behind Sestoda, as Cyril keeps just going, just this never ending, like well of just like inky dark black bitterness.
So I think toward even like the midpoint of that, Sally, you realize like this guy is clearly deep in his cups and is going to excuse himself past a certain point, Sistoda. But like for 20 minutes, you see Toons are like backing up, like, because it's a cartoon world, backing up like a 747 into the bar and just like loading it up with illicit material that's going to Europe. Somebody comes in with a box truck, and it's like one of those cartoon gangsters from Bugs Bunny who's like 11 feet tall, but they're
Hmm.
in a tiny little box truck, and like they shove the penny in there from Batman.
Hmm.
And I think, well, that tableau is gorgeous. I'll give you a laugh, and then you'll do your thing.
Yeah, my thing of asking, hey, who wants this? Who
And
wants it?
And before anybody says whether or not they want it, we'll cut over to Sky Howard and Kip Hopperman. Sky, you're just about to come out of the copy machine, and not the copy machine. Maybe you were in the copy machine. I don't know how thorough you got, but you come out of the copy room in Vision Animations accounting, and you're just about to click open the door when you see like the shadow of the gargoyle appear under the door, and You aren't made yet, you think. But Kip, you're looking eye to eye with this massive cartoon gargoyle who is like the villain in like a Harry Potter meets Scooby-Doo Once Upon a Time. And his name is Cherno.
Oh, hey, Cherno, how you doing?
Real good. And his slithery tongue, which is itself a snake, like comes out and just sort of hacks his face a little bit, but he's stone and not sweaty, so you're not quite sure what that's about.
I was playing a game there. Why'd you turn it off the computer?
Mr. Stone would like a word.
Well, I mean, there's lots of words in the dictionary. He can have them all.
A word with you
I mean, I don't know the words.
about those deliveries from the meat market.
Oh, I mean, I don't have any more deliveries for him today. Does he want me to deliver more?
Sure, Kip.
Oh, okay.
More.
Oh, hold on. Okay. And he just like jumps over the desk and just starts walking out.
Sky, you hear that? You see Kip putting up, obviously not realizing perhaps that he's in danger. You're in a dicey situation, I will say, if you want to take any sort of action. But you tell me, what does Sky do, or do you just let Kip wander off with Cherno?
Oh, I'm not gonna let Kip just wander off. So I don't think I've been made, right? Like, I'm just kind of, I've got, like, toner all over my hands. I'm, like, leaning against the door, listening. I have, like, a cup between my ear and the door. And I hear this, and I hear that he wants a word about the deliveries, and I'm definitely following this guy. Definitely tiny frog mode, flopping after him, hiding behind desks, back and forth as I go to not be seen. I want to follow along without being caught.
I mean, that sounds like cool to me.
Is the thing gonna like fly away with Kip, or are they just walking?
Right now, they're still in accounting, but they
Okay.
are walking toward the exterior door. You
Okay.
know that these things can fly for certain.
Okay. I wonder if there's a way that I can try to hop into Kip's overalls pocket without being seen by the gargoyle.
It sounds possible. You are a cartoon.
Okay. I think I want to try to do that then.
Go for it. You got to roll either way.
What should I roll for? Would it be...
Is that cool or is that zany?
I don't know. I was thinking sly, maybe? I
It
mean, if
could
it's...
be
I would
sly.
love for it to be cool, because that I have a higher modifier for that, but...
In general, especially like in Powered by the Apocalypse games, what I find is really useful is asking, what are you trying to accomplish? And then looking at the
The
moves that you
options
have
there, yeah.
access to.
Yeah.
And that'll usually tell you, like, not just what stat to roll, but like what are the possible outcomes for it. Like what you'll actually get from the roll.
Okay.
And I will remind you, there is a laugh up for grabs.
Yes, if you would like to take it for any reason.
For a forward or for a story beat, up to you.
Oh, okay. So here under the moves and attributes thing, it says to do something while in a dicey or grudge mood, roll plus cool. Yeah, like for setting traps, picking pockets, all kinds of things that could go badly for you, or someone else can call for a roll. So I think cool works, and I'm gonna do that because I get a +2.
Makes sense to me, boss.
That's a 6. Unless I use my laugh from the last session and I can reroll. So I'm going to do that.
Yep.
Ah, that's so much better. Okay, that's a 12.
Excellent. 12 is a lot better than 6.
It's like twice as better.
That's what I told. I had an idea what was going to happen to you, but that world doesn't exist, so we're going to move on. But you do the thing. You even look good while doing it. Couldn't be easier. So what's your ideal scenario, Sky?
So as the gargoyle is like, looking around for whoever might be watching, I guess, and Kip is minding his own business as he does. I'm just kind of like, and you hear like a little like a little squeak sound every time I like land somewhere back and forth, and then I find like a trash can. I land on top of the trash can, and then I hop into just like nothing but net straight into Kip's overall pocket, and now I'm like along for the ride.
Yeah, in the meantime, I'm just like, what I'm doing is just like digging in there going, oh, let's see. Yeah, I got them.
Yeah, so it's like open and ready for me.
Like, hey, so is there anything else I can do for you today? I mean, if I'm going to the meat market, I can just deliver anything for you today. Or if you got any friends I can deliver for you. And I'm just like, just chattering away at him. And I don't notice Sky drop in right down in my
Perfect.
pocket.
Yeah, even you don't know that this guy's along.
Yeah.
So completely willing, you go with Cherno out of the building?
Oh, yeah. I'm leading the way out the building because I know where Mr. Stone's office is.
Right. I think the moment you step outside, maybe Kip doesn't realize, the camera and audience realizes there are no people around presently milling about anymore after the destruction of Studio 4 and the salvation of the cast of Why So Serious Caesar. The accounting and like corporate billing and the management offices and like the high rise where Mr. Stone is, of course, is way up. And you have to go out to the security elevator to go all the way up to the penthouse. There's usually a lot of people everywhere. You're not seeing any people anywhere, and it is so poignantly desolate and devoid of people that you do see a tumbleweed, but it's a Toon tumbleweed, and he's wearing like a Stetson, and he's got a cup of coffee. I'm late, and he's like rolling. Mondays. But
Hey, Tony.
Hi, Kip. Hey.
Hi.
And he continues to roll. And every time he like hits his eyes, like where his face would be, he goes, "Oh." So that happens. And then Kip, unless you're entirely resistant to the idea, Cherno is going to like take off into the air a little bit, grab you with his talons, and fly off toward the mountains.
Yeah, that's totally fine. Like I just go, whoa, whoa.
Okay.
I've never seen the studio from up here. That's interesting.
Yeah, so Bivdale kind of like wraps around a sort of lonely peak, and you're being flown. I can't talk. You're being flown toward Mount Biv.
Small cutscene to inside the overalls pocket with Tiny Frog Sky trying to not throw up from motion sickness. like leaning, like a ship railing pops up out of nowhere and just like leaning over it. Inside
that
the
pocket
pocket
is his hammer space for sure.
A little pill bug in a flight attendant getup comes over. It's like, do you need a bag, a ginger ale? Is this your first time flying with us, hon?
I think there's a whole society in Kip's pocket. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm just like,
I have little kits in there that are like move things around.
Tiny little
Each
flight
of them
attendants.
more. Yeah, exactly.
For anything sentient that might happen to fall in.
Like someone comes over, it's like, okay, how should we categorize you?
There's a very, very important system of organization in the pocket.
It's like a check-in log. Way more. It's like that's how the eidetic memory works. It's like the little flight attendants keep track of everything for him, so he doesn't have to remember. But then the second somebody asks, they like climb up a little ladder and tell him everything.
Exactly. Oh yeah. So yeah, you're having a rough time, but a bunch of little pill bugs and like a tiny little Kip stewardess gives you like a little seat, and you're on like a little platform, and they give you like an airbag just in case. But Cherno is disturbingly fast. He's a cartoon. He's not beholden to physics, and he makes it to Mount Biv very quickly. And we get like a reverse shot of like Mount Biv, the extreme distance of the window in the Quarter Portion Club, and then we are at the bottom of Sistoda's cup, where he's had like the 8th scotch that you've watched him drink since you've been here.
Mm-hmm.
And he Not entirely. You get the sense, Cyril, the most upstanding law enforcer in the world. Whether or not you clock that in your moment of glory, Sistoda like throws a bunch of coins on the bar and just begins it in a more aggressively advanced state of dishevelment than you found him, begins to just sort of wander out.
Do you have a cab, dear? Are you going to
I got a car.
oh honey, no, we can't have that here.
He like goes for his keys and then just like he teeters forward. A bunch of the Toons like push a chair over there. He teeters backward. A bunch of the Toons shove chairs behind him, and then he just falls asleep standing.
Yeah. I think there's just a moment where Cyril looks down, plucks the keys out of out of his hands, and just like looks directly at the camera and goes, "Where am I? Ernest Borgnine's house on a Thursday in 1976?" Hey everyone, we have a lot of fun over here at A Toon to Die For, but it's always worth remembering that you should never, under any circumstances, feel that you are not responsible for the safety of the people around you if they've been drinking. If they even look like they're going to be going for their car, you have a chance to be a hero. All right, everyone take care. Immediately like turns back around and goes, "Ding. Hey Sally, looks like we got a car."
Oh, that's good. Oh, I meant to ask, do I recognize the Toon that died? Also, is he back up? What is he just laying on the floor?
Did you during Cyril's moment of supreme divine glory check on him, or were you also engrossed?
I would say that I was also that not that I was engrossed, that I like went since I saw that nothing was happening there, that I went to go check on the guy.
I think when you go back up there, you find the denim like vest pinned to the floor, the second floor landing there, but you don't see the guy.
Oh, well then. Well, I guess our work is done here then, Cyril. I did notice the guy running down the alleyway. So maybe we check there first.
All right, well, let's hope that Sestoda opted for a more compact ride.
When you go out into the street and you start clicking his beeper, the signal takes you through the alley that you originally arrived in and across the street to the other block, and there is just a not suspicious at all, a not inconspicuous vehicle, however, just a completely blacked out Lincoln Continental.
I don't know what I expected.
Yeah, my goodness, I feel like I'm going to be escorting an elderly widow to a church functional. Or possibly 4 very discreet businessmen. Oh, this would have gone great for our golf meetings.
Yeah. If you pop open the driver's side, it doesn't smell good in there.
Eesh, was he living in here or something?
Well, I don't know about that, but it's about what I expected from a G-man. Got oh my gosh, what is this? Just starts like pulling entire empty whiskey handles out.
Yeah, it's bad. You
Nice.
see, paper clipped to his sun visor is the newspaper clipping of his success 20 years ago.
Oh my goodness.
I say this as I don't often say this, but I will say this as a washed up child star from the 60s. This is sad.
This is a lot sadder than I could have imagined. So Sally's like actively pushing out the bottles. Is there anything else other than the very, very sad
I
newspaper clippings in here?
I actually
Yes.
am curious. Was Homie like working on anything? Was there like are there files? Are there
If
steno pads?
There's definitely lots of notes in here in the back seat, with as well as a briefcase. But the either one of you give me, if you're going to work together on this and take some time, either one of you give me a oh my gosh, what's it called? Sharp, and you could, whoever decides to roll could take +1.
I
The
think
other
I'll go
helping.
for it.
Okay.
Yeah. Actually, it would be the same either way. We're both pretty good at sharp.
Yeah.
That is
Investigative buddies.
that is another 9.
Okay, you get one question, but I can answer it to the fullest of my ability.
Oh, wonderful. Let's see. What's my scheme?
And I'll tell you what you find besides.
What's missing here? Vision charge here. Who is the biggest threat? I'm actually like really curious if I've obviously Sestota has been doing a lot of digging around about you know business practices, specifically in terms of like copyright and everything. Is there any connection? Is there any like leads in terms of things that he might have found out about GLG and other one Visions? Like sort of like snooping around, doing his like weird copyright crusade.
So he, in particular, you see the focus of his case, and he's been in Bivdale for weeks,
Mm-hmm.
ostensibly living in this car.
God, he's
the
just like looking at it's like, it's like the schmuck's been drinking his per diem.
Yeah, this guy has been attempting to create a profile for the serial killer who's been killing humans and Toons all over Bivdale. And he says serial killer because he definitely believes that it's one person, a lone wolf, working alone, killing people with the MO of like he's built this psych profile of like obsessed with vengeance and very much complete loner, complete psychopath, unable to integrate with society, and has not focused to your like in these most recent like notebooks and like the date logs on his calendar where he's even like scratched notes. This guy has not really been looking into copyright issues in Bivdale. You think, given like the tabs that he has on the Quarter Portion Club, Stepan and Felix in particular, he was going to push up on them with copyright as an angle to get information about Wint's murder.
Interesting.
And he believed that somebody in Quarter Portion, which on top of being a gay bar, is also
I don't know where you keep getting that idea from.
Yeah, right,
Michael.
On top of being a bar and little sketch, it is also a motorcycle club.
Interesting.
And he Sestota believed that a member of the MC is the serial killer, which of course contradicts his profile. But
right.
Whatever.
Yeah, I do think that like Cyril's like looking at all of this, like thinking about everything that they've seen so far, and goes, this is why I can never get into those cop shows, Sally. It's
I agree with you there. This is a bit much.
I mean, you see how any of this actually works out in real life, and you start to think that the FBI is mostly made up of folks who just got really jazzed on cop shows when they were a kid, and it's just almost like children playing make-believe, except with actual guns.
Ain't that the truth? Maybe we should save some of these and have Sky look at them.
Yeah, if nothing else, it'll make great blackmail material. Wow. Wonder if I can get any of this sent over to a couple of my buddies over at World Star. There's something here.
Knows the people who own World Star.
There's
Where
the
it,
people who own World Star, and of course, I guess it wouldn't be called TMZ here because there's no 30-mile zone in Bivdale. We'd have
no.
to think of something else.
Where, if anywhere, do you steal the car?
Is
Yeah,
that
sure.
what
Oh,
TMZ stands for?
Yeah.
30
Yeah.
mile zone? I
Yeah.
did not know
Oh,
that.
yeah, I didn't know that either.
But yeah, it's we're definitely taking the car for
Okay.
starters.
Yeah.
That is 100%. I think, you know what, I think that I think that yes, I think that Cyril's going to be a little bit cheeky, like looks down and tries to find like if there's like a citation pad or a steno pad or anything like that, and writes starts like writing on a Sharpie and says, here's one on the house to my favorite Fed. Keep it classy, Officer Tape, and just like puts it down in the parking space,
Brutal.
and yeah, just hops into the driver's seat.
Yeah, you have to like take the seat back because you're much taller than Sistoda.
I think it's definitely something where even with it all the way back, like Cyril's driving around with his knees up at his ears.
Yeah. We cut back to Sky Howard and Kip Hopperman. Kip, I'm sure you've been talking away to Cherno this whole time.
Oh, absolutely. I was talking about the last time I was actually in the sky. I was actually I was hired to actually be an airline pilot, and the last time they had me fly from Bibdale Airport all the way across across the country to are we still in real world still? It's just
Right.
Bibdale, okay. And I had to fly all the way over to Atlanta. Atlanta's such a wonderful town. They have the greatest like pizza place over there, and I love pizza. My favorite type of pizza, pepperoni, anchovies, and pistachio ice cream. I love that so much. They give me this really weird look though, because when they asked me to put pistachio ice cream on it, they're like, "We don't serve pistachio ice cream here. That's Baskin Robbins next door." So I had to go over there and grab pistachio ice cream and bring it back to put it actually on the pizza. And they refused to put it on the pizza, so I had to do it myself. And and he's just like, "Okay, shut the hell up."
Zoom into the overall pouch of Pillbug sitting next to Sky. It's like, oh, this story never gets old.
One of my favorites.
Surprisingly, I haven't heard this one before.
Really? Well, honey, you're going to hear it at least 8 more times on this flight. He's, just watch. He's going to forget halfway through that he's telling this story. He's going to stop for a couple of seconds. You're going to see a look of relief on the gargoyle's face, and then he's going to start all over again. It's like, oh, I was, the last time that I was in the air.
Isn't there a way? Don't you guys have a way to like signal in when he like remembers stuff?
I don't know. Maybe. Just like flicks a set of sunglasses down and just starts chuckling.
So there's no way to like give him a little prompt from in here that's like cut off where like
the little pillbugs are like like the guys Inside Out. They're like, yeah, we sometimes send up that send up like the gum commercial that makes you think remember things.
I love these little guys.
Jingle.
I'm just trying to figure it out because I feel like at some point it might be a wonderful bit for me to like try to signal something to Kip from inside the overalls pouch.
Do it.
Kip Hopperman's inside story.
We'll like see how I like go to the control panel and like find what memory button to push.
Listen, the inside of my pocket is an unknown Kip. All I know is that I reach down, go to look for something, and come back out with the thing that I need. That's all I know. So Sky, you decide what's in there.
If
That's it.
As best as I understand it so far, what I'm imagining is that Kip himself is something like a TARDIS, where like inside of Like the coverall pocket is just like the doorway into this sort of like
3 doors down, take a
non-Euclidean
left, go past the swimming
space
pool.
Yep.
that also comprises the
Incredible.
inside
So
of his
you
body.
have seen more of the inside of that pocket than I have ever seen.
It's true.
It's true.
Yeah.
It's true. Like looking into the
So
heart of the TARDIS, I'm seeing some shit.
Yep.
Okay, I'm gonna keep that in mind. I'm not gonna use it yet, but I'll keep that in mind.
So Sky, Hip resumes his story. Cherno has a few blissful seconds of thinking either he's oxygen deprived and unconscious, or maybe he's realized that I don't care, and he stopped. And then Kip starts up again, and you feel like a full body shudder in the gargoyle where he contemplates homicide.
That goes all the way through Kip and his overalls.
All the way through the overalls into the pocket, and there's a minor like catastrophe inside the pocket. But you fly completely over Mount Biv, and you see like a bunch of German backpackers like waving at the gargoyle, and like somebody tries to snap a photo of him, and just he does a beeline for downtown Bivdale. Bless you.
Thanks.
So we went up the mountain just to come back down the mountain to Bivdale?
Yes.
It's for the drama.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like, you're bringing me up the mountain. Oh, reminds me of that time that I did the lift operation for Mount Bivdale Snow Resort. Oh, that was great. You know what my favorite type of ice cream is? Pistachio ice cream.
Well, that's a laugh for you, Morshadi. Full commitment to the bit. You monster. You're just gonna beat you over the head with the joke until I get points. And then Cherno takes you to an abandoned building near the docks to the south of Little Sketch. And I will repeat, Bivdale is landlocked except for the river. And you are on the completely non-polluted river right next to Bivdale, the Johanneman River. And you are on top of this abandoned building in the docks, and Cherno sets down, and there is like a little like lawn chair picnic set up here. There's no food, but there are like bottles of water set aside on like a picnic cloth. And Cherno raps on a door that is this is a real building too. Raps on a door that is much too big to accommodate him, but he like steps sideways, and he's like much thinner from this perspective
Oh no.
than you realized. And then he slides in, and a couple of moments later, a bunch of like cartoon ants that you've never seen before, Kip or in Sky, they like start bringing out food, about a couple inches tall, but they're immensely strong. And they start setting up a table.
Is there any pizza with pepperoni, anchovies, and pistachio ice cream?
A roll of D6, Moshadi?
That would be a 1.
There is a pistachio ice cream, but instead of a pizza, it's a flagel,
A flagel?
like a flat bagel,
Oh.
less carbs.
Oh. I was thinking like a flamencouche bagel, but
Wow, fancy.
Okay. So Kip heads on over, is like, ooh, a flagel, and he just like, He's like, well, I've already had pizza today, and so he goes to reach down into his pocket. In the sky, you see my hand just kind of like reach and just kind of wave right in front of your face.
Oh boy. I just back away from it, and I turn to one of the little pill bugs, like, does it always look like that?
Much bigger in here than out there, yeah.
Okay.
The pill bug hands you a cigarette.
I'm gonna take it, and I'm just gonna hold it,
Yeah.
and not really know what to do with it.
Thank you very much.
Just like give it a little
Kids shouldn't
sniff,
smoke.
like,
Kid shouldn't smoke.
this doesn't smell like candy.
That's a laugh for you.
Thank you.
Lights up the cigarette. How old are you anyway?
I hate that question. Everybody always asks me that question. I'm probably older than you are. How old are you?
47.
Yeah, that sounds about right. I'm like 37.
In frog years?
No. In Toon years, I guess. I'm not really sure what the correlation is between Toon years and human years. You know, there's such a varied, wide life expectancy. It's really hard to, like, get a good formula down. Like, with dogs, it's the 7-year thing, and with cats, there's another one. But, like, humans to toons, the ratio is just so out of whack that you can't nail down an average.
Yeah, there's no way to tell. I mean, we die left and right. Those reels don't give a shit.
How's your workman's comp?
You got workman's comp?
Okay, so it's confirmed. Kip is not the union; he's the scout.
Yeah, so inside the pouch, as Kip is waiting for Mr. Stone or whatever, like, Sky is now, like, pulls union pamphlets, like, out of nowhere and is, like, trying to get the pillbugs to unionize inside.
Infinite laughs for the union pamphlets. Salute you. Well, that's happening in the pocket. Kip, you're feasting, I imagine.
Yeah, I had just pulled out the last little bit of just that the jam whiteout
Oh,
mixture.
God.
No.
And-
Why?
So in this moment, when you pull out the jam and whiteout, the ants kind of disperse, and then the Mr. Beaumont Ignatius Stone walks up from within this building, apparently, and he is not wearing his customary white suit with the bolo tie.
I would just say, I am pro-union. Go unions all the way.
Absolutely,
So
absolutely.
Just a disclaimer.
And Kip,
Yes.
Kip is only coming off this way because he's just too oblivious about.
Yeah, he
what's
just
going
doesn't
on in
know.
the world.
He just doesn't know.
He probably doesn't even know that there are pillbugs in there.
He doesn't
That's the
know what's
thing.
going on.
And if he did, he would support them unionizing.
Yeah, he
Indeed.
would.
Continue.
Beaumont Ignatius Stone is just wearing, maybe even uncomfortable for Kip. He's wearing like jeans and sneakers and like a quarter zip in an attempt to look regular.
Oh my gosh.
But his otherwise, like, his face is still the same and his bald ass head is still there.
Just imagining like seeing Ted Turner in jeans and trainers.
And he walks out and he like plays with his mustache a little bit. He goes, Kip Hopperman, it is a pleasure, inexpressibly.
Oh, hi, Mr. Stone. Oh, thank you so much for the delicious food.
I see you you were able to help yourself.
Always, thank you.
That's fabulous stuff. I have a question, Mr. Hopperman. These deals we do, these favors you do for me. You know, I appreciate them.
Yeah.
And I appreciate our working relationship.
Yeah.
And I would like to keep our relationship. Maintain it, sort of. But I need to know something.
Yeah, Mr. Stone.
My friend, are you talking to the feds about me?
About what?
See, that's what I like to hear. You don't know a thing, do you?
Well, I mean, I know. I mean, I know a lot of things, but I mean, I don't know what you're talking about.
Perfect. Just keep that up if anybody asks you questions about me, okay?
Like about you, Mr. Stone?
Yeah, about me, Kip.
Well, I mean, I just know that you feed me a lot. Like this little flagel you called it. That's what the ants said. Oh, it's really delicious. You know what I could use though? that pistachio ice cream. You know what I love about pistachio ice cream? It goes really well with pizza, pepperoni, and anchovies.
Yeah, I
You
bet.
ever
I've
had that?
heard. I've heard. I've
Yeah.
not partaken myself. No.
Oh, you really should. The next time I go on a
Mm-hmm.
delivery with you for your meat market and stuff, you really
Yeah.
good. There's a great little place down there.
Which meat market?
The one next to where I pick up and delivery for your money and stuff.
You told anybody else about that, Kip?
I mean, but what?
About the meat market where you pick up and deliver my money?
Oh, the one where I pick up all that money at least 3 times a week and bring it to you, and you tell me not to tell anybody about it.
Yeah, that meat market, Kip.
Oh yeah, no. I don't have. I mean, not that I know of. I mean, the last person that asked me that question, I mean, he's not around anymore.
Who was that?
Who's what?
The person who asked you the question about the meat market and the deliveries you make for me.
Oh, the one over there by. Dang it, I always forget this. What studio is it?
A GLG is where the meat market
Okay.
is.
Oh, the meat market over by GLG Studios. Yeah, the last person to ask me about that was Wint.
And
He's
like,
dead. Ah, Wint. He was my best friend. Well, he was a friend.
huh?
Well, he was a business associate. Well, he would just buy me pizza. Ooh, I really love pizza. Pizza with pepperoni, anchovies, and pistachio ice cream. Have you ever had that?
No, I've not. Kip.
Just imagining the light in his eyes just slowly dying as this conversation goes.
Yeah, like the facade of like nice genteel Southern man is like completely faded in this man. Yeah. Well, it's been a real illuminating conversation, Kip, like always.
Suddenly, there's like a light.
Huh.
Bing.
See, I love tunes. They're always coming up with new ways to entertain us.
Yeah, no, like I wasn't. You know what? I was created to replace this dinosaur guy. He retired, but then they canceled my show. Well, I never got started.
And that just ain't fair. And that's why I'm looking out for you, Kip. You deserve a better shake than that.
I mean, do you have a shake? I really love milkshakes.
Tell you what, there's a shake downstairs I just love to show you, Mr. Haberman.
Ooh, that'd be great. Is it pistachio ice cream? Can you add pepperoni and anchovies? I just start heading down the stairs.
Yeah, we can add whatever you like, boy.
Oh,
So we cut back to Sally Sable and Cyril. You're in the G-Man's car in the Lincoln Continental. The license plate just was like 50RRY. And where, if anywhere, did you go, or did you just sort of drive around?
I think that I don't know if Sally would protest at all, but Cyril would have gotten behind the wheel and like Sally pointing out the alleyway that she saw our not our assailant, but our target, I guess, going down, and Cyril's like, "Yeah, I bet I can fit this through there," and just starts driving it in.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So I
totally.
sure, why not? I think just roll me a plus zany really quick, Cyril, if you wouldn't mind.
Oh boy, I imagine that stat is really great for me, the straight-laced character.
Yeah,
It could be worse.
it could be worse.
It could be worse, actually. It isn't horrible. This is just going to be a straight roll. It's like as they're going, and so I was like, I learned this one from Bugs. He showed me how it's like if you ever need to get a car through the alleyway, you gotta kind of take it from the side, and it just like then like outside of the car, the camera is showing like the car almost trying to like get up onto the tiptoes of its wheels and sort of like press itself in the way that you might go sideways to get through like a narrow bookshelf.
Oh, sorry, excuse me. Oops, sorry, excuse me. Yeah, but
Sally
you're
has
trying to
like
make
a
a real
notebook.
car do that. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
She is actively taking notes of all the things that Cyril has said to her, like, all right, you got to make sure that you take it from the side. This will be helpful in her career. She's sure of it.
Yep, that is a straight up Snake Eyes.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
Oh boy.
Oh man, and I have no less, and I don't have anything to modify my own roles specifically. I don't think. Um, I'm more of the sort that makes snarky comments at other people's attempts at doing things. So
Yeah.
I got nothing, yo.
Do either of you have any laughs?
I do have a laugh.
Would you like to declare something else happening, or are you good with this? Because I'll give Cyril, I'll give you a laugh if you take a lump.
Oh, absolutely. No, like I think that I actually just realized something. Cyril absolutely should not be driving. He's being very hypocritical here because he has just come off of a very bitter bender.
Yeah.
That's
So
true.
I think that we all kind of got, like caught up in the wonder of watching Cyril drive to not realize that this absolutely should not be his thing. I also think that Cyril is someone who doesn't like
Drive.
well, no, like whenever he drinks, it doesn't like register in the same way that, like someone stumbling around, like Toons with swirly eyes. I think it's one of those things where Cyril like doesn't lose diction, doesn't lose his ability to, like to look completely sober. But as soon as he has to do anything, he might be able to manage for about 3 or 4 minutes before he just like instantly smacks into a wall, runs over a handrail, dumps himself into the water. Or in this case, is like, so the secret to getting a car through a narrow alleyway, and I'm telling you, Bugs Bunny showed me this, is you got to take it from the side and just like slowly turning the wheel into the scene that we're about to see.
So what happens is Cyril from the side, and he tries to do that like really cool Fast and Furious movie scene where like they jack the car just so it's on the right side, and then you drive along the wall to get away from the cops. You think that's going to happen, and then what happens is like you sort of jerk it, and then it collides with both walls at the same time, and basically you just shave the car. And Cyril, you take a lump from I think from the sheer social disgrace.
I think that like Sally gets to watch with absolute horror as Cyril's going like, and yeah, so all you got to do is you just take it from the side, and like part of the the pillar and of the windshield of the driver's side window just starts getting ground in, and Sally can see the brick wall coming closer and closer and closer to Cyril's face as it just keeps going. He's completely oblivious, and it just barely grazes it, but then like it catches his like vintage Fair Isle shirt and like press starched Oxford shirt, and just like rips it off, just like obliviously continuing through the alleyway. He's like, yep, just gotta take it real slow, real easy. It's just shirtless.
Yep. Sure.
And yeah, that
not
lump is
coiffed anymore. That lump is rough.
Yeah, just one side of his hair is just like shorn down to a buzz cut.
You all, Sally and Cyril, you see as you come out the end of this alley, which was like going past several other condemned buildings in Little Sketch, you eventually right yourself on a street that is way too narrow to accommodate this car. Like again, most of the city is not built to accommodate vehicles, particularly vehicles like four-door sedans. And you are
four-door luxury sedans.
Yeah, a luxury sedan that this guy bought while he was here in Bivdale or rented. I think this has voided his warranty.
If this is a rental, right. I know the exact limo black like a Lincoln Town car that this is.
Yes, it's
like
quite bad.
I drove this fleet car for like 4 years.
You are both staring directly at the docks, and while you don't see, given your loud and abrupt failure, while you don't see the suspect, you do see a large gargoyle that you saw at Vision Animations touch down on a building carrying a very familiar looking kangaroo.
Yeah. Completely oblivious. Sarah looks over to Sally and says, "You know what's funny? Me and Bugs actually stopped calling each other after I took him out for a ride that day. I don't know what got into him.
Sally is going to furiously scratch out the note that she just wrote. And she's gonna sort of climb out of the car. Her legs are all like wobbly, and she's like, "Yeah, I can see why."
I kind of get it.
You can? Well, if you ever figure it out, tell me. I've always wanted to get back in touch with Bugs. You know, I say a lot of bad things about good people because they're all bad people. But Bugs was all right.
Instead of a laugh or a lump, I'm going to give Cyril a tear. He can have one. He can have one of mine. My God. But Sally, you're the more coherent one of the duo. You see Kip Hopperman feasting, talks to this fabulously bald man that you kind of recognize from a distance. And you see a bunch of like cartoon ants parade food out. You see Kip eat a bunch. The cartoon man, the man assumes a lot less deferential posture and then gestures into the building, and Kip goes down from the roof that you can see goes down into the building, and you can all see. And then I guess you probably let Cyril know at least that you see Kip being led away by this bald man.
Mhm. Should we do something about that? Because
Well,
that was Ignatius Stone, right?
oh, was
Looked
it?
like him.
I don't know. You see one bald guy in this city. You've seen them all, and
They
I can
do all
tell
look
you.
alike.
I can tell you. I've seen a few of them. But
Um,
no, I think you got the gist of it there, Sally dear. I think we gotta. I think that we are in some way obligated to see what's going on there, as if by some
right.
kind of contract, maybe a social one. I'm not sure.
You mean you're not getting paid for this?
Honey,
Um,
checks come, but I
how
never know what they're coming for.
how big is the river, or how like wide?
So the river is like a cool couple 100 feet across,
Okay.
and it's pretty deep. Here in oh my gosh, here near the docks where the what shipments still come to Bivdale via the water,
Mhm.
Hmm.
large enough to accommodate like river trawlers, as anachronistic as that might seem. And there's upriver from Bivdale, there's a tourism um like spot where people like take rides with like insert Steamboat Willie reference here,
Hmm.
but like the original tunes of Bivdale, and
Next year
they're
we'll be able
all
to use Steamboat Willie. It'll be
yeah,
public
Disney's
domain.
getting involved.
Um, okay, so Sal's gonna turn to Cyril and just be like, "Well, you're obviously in no shape to drive. I also don't have a license, so she's gonna start rummaging through her bag,
Sure.
and trying to find one of those like paddle boats where like you use your feet to like move across.
It's a
Uh,
fun fact. It technically isn't illegal to pilot a boat while drinking, as long as you're in international waters.
well, thank Walt for that.
Yeah, and I can thank Joe Barbera for learning that one the hard way. Oof.
Making Joe Barbera the villain of the season. Sally, just roll plus sharp on your bag of junk.
Sure. Is it both die or just the one? It's
Two
both, right?
dice. Always two. Yep.
Mhm.
Didn't fall. 5, 2, 2. That would be 9.
Okay, on a 7 to 9, you have something that's appropriate, or that's inappropriate and possibly dangerous. So you go for a paddle boat for the two of you, size like maybe like a couple's swan that you
Mhm.
might have had in your bag of junk once upon a time, and maybe it's still there. What do you pull out instead?
Let's see. Instead of the paddle boat, I guess she's gonna pull out a paddle board. So it's just looks like a surfboard, but it's different material, and they just have the one paddle. So she's gonna toss it in the water and then hop in the water and swim over to the paddleboard and be like, "Come on."
Cyril looks at that thing the way that you look at like a mouse that your cat has dragged in for you. Just like you know, like teeth bared, you know, hands
Whoa.
almost like recoiling from them. Just is like, kid, you're giving me flashbacks.
It's not even that far. You'll be fine.
All right, maybe it'll finally happen, and Joe gets to bury me in the water for real this time, and just kind of just you know pulls up his pants very daintily, you know, like pulls the cuffs up to his calves and just sort of like wades out a little bit, you know, just
So we've got a shirtless, battered, grimy Cyril Seta with his pants rolled up about to paddleboard. This is some not safe for work content occurring.
oh my gosh. Yeah, Cyril just, you know, like gets onto there and goes, well, damn the torpedoes, I suppose, Skipper.
So
Who's gonna
Sally,
start paddling?
yep, instead of an oar, you have like I think a kitchen spatula.
I think it's a talking flamingo. Like
There it
It's
is.
it's very slow.
It's
yeah.
very not good.
Yeah, the camera zooms in on you know, on what looks like a novelty you know, like a kitchen wooden spoon shaped like a flamingo, and just goes, it's a living.
All right, I think there we'll take a quick little break as the party is about to reconvene in this abandoned dockfront, riverfront lair.
Oh boy.
What's going to happen? Hello and welcome back. We're back from our little break, and the Toon Sleuths are ready to crack this case wide open. Hip Hopperman and Sky Howard in his little pocket, and the lately disheveled and recently drunk Cyril Seta, Sally Sable, sailing in on their mighty craft into the bowels of this facility, where Beaumont Ignatius Stone appears to be keeping things hush hush. Yeah. But we crack back in. We see Kip. You've been you and the Sky in tow, of course, unbeknownst to you. You've been led down a long series of staircases looking into what was probably at one time a warehouse. You're in sort of the maintenance area of it before you're brought out onto a large um like not scaffold system, but like railings and like maintenance railings above the larger work dock area of this warehouse here. You see doors that can like probably open to let in other ships, but those haven't been opened in a while. And you can tell the only operation taking place in here is that these curious little cartoon ants that don't seem to have much to say are just milling about, living in the space, cleaning things up. But what you do clock, Kip, down here, Mr. Stone said he was going to show you a shake, and you can add whatever you want to it. There is a not not a swimming pool, but not like a vat of nuclear waste. There is a large, like, have you ever put something on a paint tumbler, Morshadi, where like it shakes like a can of paint or something like that? Yeah, you're familiar with the concept.
Yeah.
There's like a vat of Toon paint being like gyro shaken underneath the scaffold here. And there's like a lot of tube systems that are being funneled toward like over it. And there's like not faces that you recognize, but faces of tunes you may have seen before, just sort of in like a mail system over your head, and they're all like intermixing above this massive vat of tune paint. And that's sort of being shaken and tumbled beneath you, and it's clearly putting a strain on like what electrical power this building has access to. But more than that, perhaps even disturbing to Kip, you see coming out of the bottom of the vat facing the water is a series of like t-shirt presses, and they're being operated by these ants and overseen by Cherno and his other gargoyle companion Bog. And the two of them are overseeing the work of these Toon ants. And every now and again, the giant vat of Toon paint will stop shaking, and the ants will come over and press more ants and other tunes out of the vat here, and variably either throw them into the water, or they seem to be getting like hot packed into like box cars. And there's this insane like um, cyberpunk operation happening in here, and it is,
I,
to anyone watching, not good.
um, as Kip just like is just still jabbering on in his kippish way, right? He just kind of just is looking on. Oh my Inca, what what's going on here? And he
So,
just runs over to the railing and just kind of looks around. And it's like the one time he has just this moment of clarity that you ever see on Kip's face, because it is not this is not right. This is not okay. Um, Mr. Stone, what's going on?
Well, usually the process to make a tune is a little bit more laborious and personal, but we found a way to industrialize the process. and make it super quick.
But creating a tune is made out of love, out of artistic expression.
Yeah.
This is just you're just pressing tunes. This is just what? But wait, wait, wait a minute. Are they just are tunes just things to you?
I love tunes. You gotta believe that, Mr. Hopperman. I've always loved tunes.
I mean, but that's not. What are you doing? Like you have to create. What? No.
Well, you gotta see. I was afraid you might react this way, but I think we could figure things out. See, this is
Did
better for.
he just like pull
He
his?
pulled his sleeves up
Oh gosh.
and he said,
Okay.
Oh boy.
he said, you gotta understand. And you see there's like a very serious tattoos on his arms
Oh
that you've
no.
never seen before. And like one of them is up his forearm on the right hand side. You can see the Grim Reaper has been tattooed on his forearm. He goes,
Uh,
you gotta understand. This is better for tunes too. You see, everything's dependent on the tune film or show industry. You see, this way we give the tunes that exist a choice. And these fellas down there, they don't last too long.
What do you mean they don't last too long? Tunes don't die.
Oh, but these tunes, Kip, these tunes die.
No, you don't, Mr. Stone. You don't understand. Tunes don't die. They tunes don't. They don't die. They fade away until they get remarketed.
Ah, but Kip, nowadays, with modern technology at our hands, all you need to do is add water. And he points, and the tune ants and like other failed tunes are being thrown into the river, which I'm sure is clean.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah,
in
no, absolutely. Why wouldn't a river that runs through like a major like film studio town be anything but squeaky clean?
Yeah, completely squeaky.
these tunes experience birth and life and knowledge of self and the agony of death in mere seconds.
Mr. Mr. Stone, they when a tune gets created, they are created with the full intelligence as they are created. You're muttering tunes. And
can
he
we?
just completely
Yeah.
just goes like there's just like flames of anger that just come out of like every like
This is perfect.
it is like it really is truly the one moment of clarity that Clip has ever had. He just turns red. It's just like a coffee a teapot just like
If we could cut to inside the overalls pouch.
Yeah.
So I'm hearing all of this, picking up, and I can't see what's happening, but I can hear them talking about murdering tunes, right? And we've just gone down to a basement where for a shake, which is clearly not the good kind. And so I am picking up real sketch vibes. I don't like this at all.
Sure.
And I am going to turn to the nearest little pill bug. I'm going to pick it up and say, where do you send the memories up? Show me where you send the memories up.
This is the pillbug who was smoking earlier,
Sure.
and you see him loading like a regular sized 38 revolver. He's got like the cigarette in his teeth, and he's just like, "We're gonna have to take care of this guy, I think."
I have an idea. Just show me where you send the memories up. Is
Follow
there like
me.
a control panel? Is there like a button to press? Like how does that work?
Just roll me a d6, Sky.
Just one?
Yep.
That's a 5.
Cool. You can roll me a cool to get to the KIP telecom board before something happens.
Haha! That's a 9.
Okay,
Oh, actually,
let's
that's an
look at-
11 because I have +2.
Whoa,
Oh,
much
there it
better,
is.
much better than a 9. Okay, you do the thing.
Okay.
So, you work with Morshadi here. What is this What happens? What happened?
So I'm imagining this, like, gigantic, like, rounded, insanely complex control panel with, like, a bunch of different kinds of keyboards and various colored buttons that can be pressed in different combinations. And I'm hoping, theoretically, if there is a way to just pull memories from their little storage and send them up, there must also likely be a way to maybe do just a little bit of editing before it gets sent up.
Have you ever watched the show Miracle Workers?
I have not.
So Miracle Workers is a show where it has Daniel Radcliffe in it, right? And
Oh, okay.
he's this guy who creates miracles, and he just is really meticulous about creating just the tiny miracle. He's working every little thing, and it's just like just to like hit that one paper that you're like, oh, I forgot that one paper just for that meeting. And that's just his beautiful job that he loves, right? But it's the one guy who's like granting miracles, that has just a giant thing. I think there's just one guy. It's just a little Kip who's been trying to keep all of this together, and that's why Kip can't ever remember anything, because he's overworked and underpaid.
Tiny Kip must be
This is
so
why I needed
stressed.
a union.
Exactly. That's why he needs a union. And you see there, and he's just like, he's wearing the exact same thing Kip is, but it's just like, it's ragged, and he's got in this one, he's got like long hair, and he's just like trying to like, everything's going haywire. Like everything is red. There's lights going off, crazy. And he's like, and he's running back and forth. Oh God, this has never happened before. This has never happened before. I don't know what to do.
Okay, so I'm gonna reach into one of my podcasts so I can pull whatever I want out of. I'm gonna pull out a mug and a tea packet, and I'm gonna make a little cup of tea real quick, nice and warm, and I'm gonna walk up to Tiny Kip, which... Side question, does Tiny Kip also have an infinite pocket in the front of his overalls? Is this like a pocket
It's exactly the same.
Okay.
He's got everything exactly the same.
Alright, so if
Pockets all the way
something went
down.
in there, it's another smaller void. Okay, cool. Just wanted to check.
It's Kipception, yes, it is Kipception.
So I'm gonna walk up and be like, hey, why don't you take a break for a hot second? I can take a shift for you. Here's some tea. It's really relaxing, I promise.
Yeah, and he grabs the tea. He's like, supposed to be here.
It's okay. It's okay. I'm here to give you a break. You get to take a quick 5. It'll be okay.
I mean, that'd be kind of nice. Yeah, that'd be.
Yeah, just a
Just
minute
don't
to
press
sit
that
down. There's a comfy chair in the corner.
Just don't press that. Don't press that button.
Two
Okay.
of the
Don't
pill
press
bugs
that
are like
button.
slowly guiding this Kip into
chair.
the chair. One of them like puts a little bit of Union literature into his glass. And...
The pill bugs have communisted.
Comrade.
Comrade Pillbug.
So I am at this.
Pill bug.
Power of the pill bug.
Holy shit.
So I'm at the control panel now, right? Of Kip's memories.
And there's a big red button that says bang.
I love that. I'm gonna work up to it.
That's so
Okay,
fun.
I have a
That's
plan.
so
I have a
fun.
plan. So what I want to do is push some buttons, right? Pulling a memory of one of the times when Kip has eaten pistachio ice cream. He went to go visit a pistachio ice cream factory, and there's a giant vat of pistachio ice cream. I want to pull that memory. And then I want to change it just a little bit, just a touch, so that the tour guide accidentally falls into the vat of pistachio ice cream, as in a little hint of that could fix our situation, and send that memory up to regular-sized Kip.
So essentially, you want me to create Joker.
We're gonna create a 59-year-old Southern Joker.
Oh my god.
Okay, listen.
Season 2 will be
okay.
fighting the supervillain.
So, okay, but he's not a Toon, right? He's not a Toon. He's like a human person.
Hey,
Do it.
I'm just gonna ask this real quick. Have you ever watched Who Framed Roger Rabbit, Bud?
No, I haven't.
Okay, awesome.
All right.
I think that you'd really enjoy it.
Yeah,
And that
yep,
is
I
all I'm
heard
going
that.
to say.
No further comment necessary.
So like, if this guy's not a Toon, but that entire shaking vat is just for Toons, and they're getting like pressed into like T-shirts or whatever.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that's not like a extra scars kind of situation. That's like a drowning
Murder?
and squashing kind of
Just
situation.
the execution of an evil CEO.
Yeah.
Listen,
That's basically
comrade.
community service right there.
Comrade,
Seize the means of
Pillbug.
production.
The means of production are evil. We should blow this
And
place
I
up.
am at the keyboard for the means of production.
Kip Hopperman is the means of production in Rivendell. All right, so you're suggesting to Kip that he should murder Beaumont Ignatius Stone.
I am suggesting to Kip that he should give Mr. Ignatius Stone a first-hand experience of what he is doing to other things.
All right. Since this is player to player, it's not going to be rolls. It's going to be up to Morshadi, of course. And if Morshadi wants to act onto Mr. Beaumont Ignatius Stone or simply bug out, I leave that up to you.
Yeah, so I've set this memory up at the same time that you're like steam's coming out of your ears and you're just like ragingly angry.
Yeah, I imagine that the camera is like showing, through Kip's vision these two images, the current world that he's in and this modified memory of being at the ice cream factory,
like 50% opacity one over another.
Yes.
And
flashing in between them.
At this moment as well, Cyril and Sally Sable, you also come in on the paddle boat and you watch the execution of Toons. And you don't hear this conversation, but you do see Beaumont Ignatius Stone starting to aggress on Kip, while Cherno and Bog are keeping eyes on Kip, and they don't see you two. But I will give first action here to Morshadi, if any action you should take, sir.
So, I think I shall leave this up to my grudge move, since this is going to be a kind of a physical reaction. I will take this into consideration with Sky, what you've done, and leave this up to the dice. The grudge move is slapstick, because this is very much a slapstick situation. To get
this is wacky and zany.
Oh, indeed. I roll zany, which is a +3 for me. So here's hoping. That would be a 9.
Okay, 9 on slapstick is your attacker misses you, but if your next move is naivete, take +1 forward. So your barbaric rage protects you from the physical prowess of Beaumont Ignatius Stone, who moves on you like a viper. But what happens?
I just in a rage, remembering this moment of the ice cream man falling in the pit, of pistachio ice cream. I just in hearing and yelling, you're maddening Toons, and I just launch myself at Ignatius Stone. Not even thinking about myself, and probably was going to take myself out as well, just launching myself at him. I think Ignatius Stone also just kind of like, and I just slam myself into the railing. I'm now like just like as if I'm on the ring.
Yeah, you're up on the
I
ropes.
suddenly have 2 boxing gloves, like, oh, I can get him.
So I think in this moment, the Pillbugs, Sky, they suggest to you that you should take this visor and this towel and go coach.
Like, as in, like, jump out and go coach?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, because I don't want to fall into this thing. So I'm gonna... There's, like, really... it's, like, really emotional... like da 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 da, like the montage kind of music with like the running, and it's very inspiring and emotional, and I like very solemnly take the visor and I nod, and I jump back out of the overalls pocket onto like the other side of the walkway.
The minicap's like, wait, is my break over?
First break in so many years.
All of the years.
Since Kip was created, yeah.
And
In
you
all
hop out.
possible
Are you in frog
years.
form or are you in little hobbit form?
I think as I jumped out, I would have like landed in little hobbit size form because then I've got like the visor and the water bottle that I just get that very like coachy kind of stance
Yeah.
that you can't get very easily with a frog.
Yeah, it's so true. Frogs really don't coach too well, I'm told. What, if any, action do you or do you want to hand the floor to somebody else? Anybody have anything in mind? Now, this is the situation. There's a bunch of cartoon ants. They're killing copies of themselves or other failed tunes. Cherno and Bog are flying over, about to attack Kip. And Beaumont Ignatius Stone apparently is a mass murdering psychopath.
And I'm just standing on the side like, you got it, come on, one more round, you can do it.
Oh my gosh. I really didn't think Sky had it in her for character work, but they're pretty decent at it.
Mhm.
I think I think Cheryl has been pretty jaded, to kind of the more unsavory nature of this job and this life. And I think had been like talking even more smack about Joseph Barbera. I almost like the idea that as that they're on the paddleboard, like coming into the waterfront, he's like, and really, beyond the fact that Joe was a horrible person who couldn't do math and had no moral compass, the biggest thing. I would even say the most damaging thing that he did was to the industry. He basically saw creating the shows that he made as a means to sell advertisement. And in doing so, he basically turned the entire system into, well, it was almost like a factory. You could imagine, these tunes like being created almost instantaneously. You think about how many cartoons were made in a year. Here's a fun fact: Jetsons only lasted 2 seasons. Everyone assumes that it lasted as long as the Flintstones, but it didn't. It lasted 2 seasons. The only reason why they're seen these days as contemporaries of the Flintstones is that because in syndication, they'd always mash the two together so that they could make a larger block. He basically saw cartoons as something that he created. They lived just long enough for him to get his money's worth out of it, and then they died so that he could. And as soon as he says that, he looks up and just sees this. It's like, well, if I'm honest, this metaphor is a little bit on the nose.
It's another GM burn. Any move from Cyril, or just shade?
I'm sorry. I just wanted to get another Hanna-Barbera dig in there.
Fuck that guy. Enemy of the show.
Yeah, legit. I actually do like Joe. But let's see. I think like because the immediate thing is just seeing like Ignatius Stone like knife fight ready. I think is
Yep.
one of the things that Cyril's kind of like going on to. It's like, well, looks like we're right in the middle of it this time. And I think in lieu of everything, and sort of with how my grudge move is just what is it pragmatic. Yeah, I think Cyril just kind of like shrugs and like puts one pocket into the back pocket of his of these were his nice slacks too. He just got back from a funeral. And now they're ruined. It just comes out and just like a small like a pearl inlaid derringer comes out, and he's just like points it up towards that big old bald head, and yeah, starts blasting.
So anyway, inspired by Sally's earlier heroism.
Yeah. Just,
all right.
Like looks over at Sandy. He's like, oh, and don't get this twisted. This is a real gun. Charlton Heston gave me this one whenever I was an extra on Planet of the Apes. They always kept me in the back. They didn't have to do too much with the hair for me.
You're a monster. roll plus laughs, damn it. Kill Beaumont Ignatius Stone. He's the villain, right?
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. He certainly sucks. My laughs is currently at a 0, and that's fine. Because that's a 10. 2 5s.
Oh, okay. You can hurt a single target or crack wise.
Yeah, you know what? I actually kind of like this. I think like there's a moment where it looks like he's it's like he's got stone in his crosshairs. He looks at it and he goes, I've always hated guns, and he just covers his eyes and he like puts the gun slightly downwards and shoots for the gantry instead.
There it is. So are you doing become disheveled in the process or crack
Uh,
wise?
I think this is going to be cracking wise. The idea with the cracking wise is that that they injure themselves as they miss you.
Yep.
As described in the wisecrack move. So yeah, I like the idea of them just kind of like shooting around Ignatius Stone, almost mockingly, where it's like where you can like look over and see you can see like well-known gadabout and waship Cyril Seda just shooting around him. Uh
Firing way more bullets than are in a Derringer, which is great.
yeah. It's like, I never make sure to, like load this thing. I have no idea how many bullets I have. Pam, 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 pam.
All right, and the gantry starts to buckle. Beaumont Ignatius Stone pulls a knife out from his like sweater sleeve and tries to fling it at you, but like at the same time, he's like a really weird guy. He doesn't carry a gun. He's got like knives on him. That was
Oh
his
my
thing.
gosh.
You hit one of the cables holding up the gantry, and he like tumbles, doesn't fall into the goo, but cracks his head against the railing there, and you see something very strange. You think perhaps he's wearing a plaster mask. Anybody else want to act?
Um, sure. I guess Sally's going to. She's been watching this. She's been debating, like, do I jump in now? I want to save Kip, but I also don't want to lose out on a chance of getting my show back running. So she's like having this conversation with herself, like, should I do this? Should I not? But she
Being
watches.
very, very being very calculating about this.
Yeah, just a little bit, better stop and think now than think later, right? So she's watching everything go down and she decides to just jump into the fray. So she's gonna use her grudge move, which is scuttle. And hopefully make something happen. Who knows?
All right.
That
Are you
is
going for stone, or are you going to try to go for the bodyguards before you tell me the results?
Uh, gonna go for, I guess she'll go for one of the bodyguards.
Sure.
Let's say she's gonna go for, it was Bog. Were they right next to each other or
Cherno was going to go for Kip, and then Bog. The two of them were actually going to go for Kip, but I think Bog was going to try to peel off to deal with Cyril after Beaumont got injured.
okay, so she's gonna go after Bog. However, she rolled oh wait, plus sharp. So she rolled a 5. Um,
Oh.
so it does not go well.
So you do you fire at Bog, like, or are you like getting in a fist fight? What was happening?
Oh yeah, fist fight. So she's like scurrying over and is like, I'm ready to start punching.
Actually, I think I am going to step in and let's see. I think I'm going to use my wisecrack move here.
Sure.
Let's see. I do have to make a clever remark.
If you
Some
both miss, you'll both take lumps. I will
works
say.
for me. Yeah, I think Cyril's like properly in it now, and but so I think a clever remark that might help Sally here. like she's just kind of like launching herself from the paddleboard, almost like like something almost slapstickish, like aiming herself, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Nice.
Um, I think that I'll ask if you think that this like still counts as wisecrack. But I almost like the idea of Cyril going, "Hey, Sally, before you try and do anything too drastic, I will show you one more trick that Bugs showed me." And I think he's just kind
Puts
of
on a
like,
wig.
well, no, oh my gosh. Well, I don't. Nah. I think what it actually is um he grabs Sally by the tail and goes, "Now, I'm real sorry to do this to you, kid," and just kind of like whirls her around a little bit and just sends her going. It says, "Don't worry. Um, if anything happens, I'll be liable for damages."
I think that while you are making a clever remark, I don't think you're doing wisecrack.
Okay.
But I will allow you to take the lump for Sally.
I'll take that. Yeah,
Sure. And that you'll
absolutely.
take the lump for Sally, bringing you to 2, and then you'll give Sally a reroll.
It works for me.
Okay.
Okay.
Get back
Big
in
money.
there.
Come on.
Big money.
Wow. Okay.
No whammies.
It doesn't help.
We're gonna retire those dice to Toon Hell.
The
Let's
worst
see, 3
hell.
to 4, so 7 plus 2 is 9.
Okay. You give as good as you get. Either you're missed or you take a lump and dish out damage too.
I will take the lump.
All right. So Cyril gets brained getting in between you and Bog as he gets backhanded or gets whipped across the face by Bog's tail. But you get launched into Bog, who gets completely like bent in half while he like double fist punches and like drives you down into the ground like a nail. But you've also clearly knocked him unconscious.
Awesome.
You've completely laid out this 12-foot gargoyle.
God, so good.
But you have to
You call
unbury
yourself a Toon.
Take a laugh. Take a laugh. There it is. The catchphrase.
Beautiful. Yes, I think in the first time where Cyril's like looked properly Toonish in a bit, like it's got the
Fucking feral Cyril.
yeah. Well, I mean, it's also just got the like the the Tweety birds going around his head. And it's like, I don't know why, but I always go in for the fellows who like it rough.
Damn. Any actions from Kip?
I'm like that full-on kangaroo who's like the boxing. So he's like,
Fucking getting in there, mixing it up with Beaumont Stone.
yeah. I haven't like gone after him just yet. And I don't know where I just, oh, hey Sky, how you doing?
Hey. And then before we get too into, laying the hurt on him, can I make a sharp roll and pull out a little magnifying glass? And I want to try to get a closer look at where that, mask looks cracked.
How bizarre. What a weird choice. I thought we forgot about that strange detail.
You think I forgot about... You think I forgot about that? No.
I thought I distracted you with
sir.
cartoon slapstick.
No,
That's
sir.
on the board now.
So my sharp is +2.
Sharp as hell.
So that's 8 total, and that means I can ask one question from the list.
Yep.
And I would like to ask... I want to ask who's in charge here, because I'm looking for, what's behind the mask. Like, who is in charge of the Ignatius Stone front? Who is, inside that, behind the mask? The classic Scooby-Doo unmasking, except I just have a magnifying glass.
Right. So as you go, you don't go over, but as you pull up the magnifying glass and you get the big bloodshot eyeball of Sky Howard, who never rests until the mystery is solved, and Kip is rearing up like, Kip might kill this guy. The plaster crumbles away, and what you see shocks you. But we're gonna have to find out next time on A Tune to Die For. Because this mystery goes right to the top, folks.
Oh my gosh.
I've been
Really
Mike.
does.
My pronouns are they and he, and I've been the game facilitator once again for another fabulous episode of A Tune to Die For. But before we really go, Kip, any last words from you?
Any last words? Any last words? What do you mean last words?
Because I'm afraid the gantry that you're on is falling.
Falling. Oh. Oh, that's not good. Ha. Oh. Yeah. I guess I don't have any more jam though.
And after grabbing the camera back from the credits, we just see Kip fall into the goo. I, of course, have been joined by Kip's player, Morshadi. Thank you so much. We won't see you next week, but we'll see you for the finale.
Maybe.
Maybe. Of course, I've also been joined by Annie. Thank you, Annie. And
Thanks
our friend
for hosting.
Yeah. No, happy to. And our mutual friend Kiki. Oh no!
Oh.
I broke.
So close.
So close.
No.
Almost to the end. I've just completely flabbergasted my friend.
Oh no.
No!
Oh no.
Excuse
All
me.
right.
No, I'm supposed to be the one that lost.
Grishka!
We are so close to the end, so I'm just gonna leave it here. You can see me in the bottom corner, kind of. Hi, I'm Kelsey. I'm
the
the
cameras are messed up now.
communications director for this channel. We have a few more things coming up in the next week. Later today at 2 p.m. Pacific, we have our talk show. The guests are CJ, aka Scholastic Dragon, and we also have Reliable Eli, so tune in for that later. On the 3rd, Friday, we have Belly of the Cat God, the next episode, at 5 p.m. Pacific. And then on the 4th, we have... Aha! We're all back in the wrong spots, but we're back. And then we have, on the 4th,
amazing.
at
What happened?
11 a.m. Pacific, we have the next episode of Solstice, our Lancer game. And then us again next week on the 5th. And that is all that we have. So, thank you for watching our little musical chairs at the end here. And have a nice...
Now I'm in charge.
have a nice afternoon.